Welcome back. This is our eighth podcast.
Eighth and final.
No, we got one more. We got one more.
Darn it.
Eighth podcast. And so, welcome to Not for Sunday Mornings. I'm Chris Bachman, an elder here at church.
Yep.
And you are?
Steve Baker.
And we're joined again fabulously by
Daniel Hazel.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
It's awesome.
I love it.
Makes my day.
It's a fun trio.
Yep.
So this week we you preached.
I did.
And you preached on heaven.
Yep.
Yeah.
Think so.
That was the topic, right?
Yeah.
We
I
had
think
some,
a new
we had
heaven,
some problem
but-
in the booth, so I might have missed some of the topic.
New heaven, new earth.
New heaven, new earth. Okay. So I'm gonna toss to you, Daniel. Do you have any likes, dislikes?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I had a lot
Give
of.
all the dislikes. I know that's a long list.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I had a question because I know this is debated a lot. Do you think the author of the Gospel of John is the same author as Revelation? Because in the sermon, it seemed like you thought that. I didn't know if you actually thought that.
That is awesome. We are now in week 8.
And we're just now bringing this up.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think the gospel, I think it's the same writer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question.
Write that one up.
Can we debate that one?
We can debate it. Yeah, there's a lot of debate.
There is a lot of debate.
Yeah.
I think for people at home to know, like, there is some debate on whether John of the Gospels and the author of Revelation are the same. The evidences that I've seen is that the Greek is not very well written in Revelation. It's almost elementary, so it's a little bit different style than it was in the Gospel. I don't know if that's true because I don't read Greek very much. I can pick a word out here or there, but that's about it. So that's. I think it's interesting. It doesn't matter in the end, right? It's a non-issue, but it's an interesting question. I
It's an issue for the guy that wrote it, but
Why? His name's John. Who
Stink.
cares? We'll find out. One day we'll find out and we'll know, and
Yeah.
it'll be the end.
Yeah.
Like it'll be like, oh, you're that John, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I
there would
like
be
that
two.
question.
There would be two Johns
Ooh.
up there, so
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what we'll find. No.
John.
Well,
I like-
you'll recognize the other one because he brags all the time.
Yeah.
I like something that you said near the end. I wrote down just the celebration of restoration was just a great line. I felt like it summed up everything so well about what the new heaven looks like. Recognizing that God's mission is to reconcile all things back to Himself, right? In heaven and on earth, and that celebration of restoration. Gives me hope and gives me something excited to look to.
Yeah, I had that one too because I like that as it was a very succinct sentence to put how will be. Yeah.
I could hold it, keep
Yeah.
it with me, hang my hat on it.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
the title
I like
of a
that
book? Oh, Celebration of Discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different book.
A little different.
Foster.
A
Yeah.
different
little
topic.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just want to say I was glad you talked about heaven because I don't think it's talked a lot about in churches. Like it's mentioned, but like the concept and the idea of heaven is not a well preached idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no, I mean, like that was my big thing. And so what I pulled away from here was like, I think people understanding the idea of new earth and heaven is a huge thing because I know for me being raised in the church here that you're told, oh, when you die you go to heaven, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like there's a huge misunderstanding of what that really means and
Ooh,
what
yeah.
that really looks
Well, that's what you
like,
want to talk
right?
about.
Huh?
Is that what you want to talk about?
That's a big idea what I want to talk about.
okay,
Yeah.
talk about it.
Huh?
Let's talk. What do you want to talk
So I know so short story for me is
Nothing is short.
I
Sorry
know.
for Chris.
Jeez,
Oh,
yeah,
here
part
we
of it's
go.
because he interrupts me
Here
every
we
single
go.
time I try to do this.
I'm going to go take a nap.
Yeah, take a sleep. So growing up, right, and growing up in the church, and you probably have a similar experience, like getting baptized and everything was insurance to go to heaven, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes old buddy Ron Burnham used to say fire insurance, right? Prevents you from going to hell is the opposite way of looking at it. And so, you what's the vision of heaven most people have? Like sitting on the clouds, plucking a harp. like it seems really boring and
Yeah.
dull of an idea,
Yeah.
right? And I personally, like, I think a lot of people detest the idea of heaven.
Yeah. Well, if it's that, yeah.
Yeah, right, because that's the way it is. And so to understand that we're going to be looking at a new creation, that we're going to be looking at a new home, and that it's not going to be boring.
Yeah.
You know, and I know 30 minutes, it's hard to talk about everything about heaven
Yeah.
in 30
Yeah.
minutes, you know. And so just the fact that you're bringing out, like, hey, this is the idea. It's not this faraway place that you're just going to sit and be bored all day and do nothing. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just like that you did it. Like, that was, I was just so happy for the whole sermon on it.
Oh, thanks. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Yeah. That's it.
That was all I had. Yeah, we had a lot of problems in the booth.
Really?
Yeah, we really
Oh.
did.
You
Yeah.
guys did a very good job. I did not know.
So,
I didn't know. Yeah.
well, I appreciate.
Yeah,
it.
no, that was good. I don't, but I think one of the questions is though, like, okay, that's eventually, but what happens when you die tomorrow? If you were to
Yes.
die tomorrow.
Oh, I had that. That was going to be one of the things I wanted to talk about.
That was I was looking out during second service that I saw some people who were, I know have lost people, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow, I wonder how they're feeling right now. So I'm excited. I was
Yeah.
hoping you'd get into that a little
Yeah,
bit.
me
Yeah, I
too.
wasn't planning on getting into it.
I didn't feed it. You
yeah, you
picked
said
it.
you were going to talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it. What happens.
What do you think?
So, I think there's some evidences. I think that you can look at Revelation 7 when it talks about the martyrs that are underneath the altar. Like, I think there's a lot in there that tells us what heaven is like, but also showing that there's this intermediate heaven, right? So when we talk about heaven, we talk about the final destination, and we could talk about what that really is too. But I think there's this intermediate for when you die, that we are created physical and spiritual, right? And so God created our physical first, and then He created our spiritual second. If you read Genesis, talk about the creation of Adam. So I think there's this place that we can call heaven, or intermediate heaven, that our spiritual aspects go to, but it has some physical aspects to it. Because I think if you read the Revelation 7 and all the descriptions of the martyr, yeah, we can take it as a figurative description, but I think we could take it literal also at the same time. That there's some literalness of it, like they're clothed, right? There's time for them. There's they can think, they can learn, there's all these aspects that are happening there. So I think there's a place. I think there's a place for us to go to. I think that for Christians, you know, I don't know outside of that, you know, and it's hard. And I always have a hard time. And I think because as Christians, we're supposed to love people. I think talking about the opposite of heaven and talking about hell is a hard thing, because we don't want to see people to go there. We know people will, but it's a hard topic to talk about and go. So I know I feel very confident saying, if you're a Christian, if you're this, you have a place to go. I don't know what happens if you're not a Christian, what that looks like for you.
Yeah. It seems like the New Testament writers were very much at peace with not answering that and being okay with that. Like Paul talks about being in Christ, and whatever that looks like, they were okay with that.
Yeah.
Like okay, you're in Christ, and so whatever that state looks like, yeah, you're in Christ. And so I don't, you're resting in Christ. What does that look like? I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have the thief on the cross, right?
Yeah, you're in paradise.
You're in paradise.
Yeah,
Whatever that means, I don't care. It's paradise, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like, and so, N.T. Wright, I had a quote here, and I deleted it before we started, but he talks about there's this veil where heaven and earth and this interdimension, and at one point it'll be lifted, and so I don't know. I don't know. We're in Christ, and what does that look like? I don't know, but they were okay with that ambiguity.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, why not? And so I am too. I don't
No,
know.
yeah, I can take solace in knowing that as a Christian that I'm saved, and whatever happens.
Yeah.
Because I know what my final destination is.
Yeah.
But it's nice to think, I was reading an author who said, Earth is the closest that Christians will ever come to hell, and the closest non-Christians will ever come to heaven. That there's a mix of the best of the best and the worst of the worst are those touches. And it's an interesting thought, because if you think about the new creation, what's going to happen, right? We're going to reset what this is, right?
Yeah, this will be perfect.
And then heaven will be on earth, right?
Yeah.
There's that combination, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this will be perfect. But we look out and it'll be
Yeah.
perfect, you know. And yeah.
I don't know if it's right. You know, again, we're
Yeah.
holding things loosely here, but
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is always a hard topic. And in my 40-some years of church, I honestly think I've ever heard it talked about once
Really?
as a sermon. Yeah,
How about heaven?
outside of you. Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, mentioned, but not
Oh.
like, but not like in depth. Like
Or
not
giving a vision for what it could look like.
yeah,
It's always,
yeah.
hey, it's heaven. You
Yeah.
you think about what you're thinking about. I'll think about what I think about.
Really?
heaven.
Yeah,
Really?
That's
Yeah.
my experience.
that's
Really?
my experience
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Really?
Did you grow up different? Like,
Do they talk
Is it
about it
very-
a lot in your?
I mean, I grew up in a crazy church. So
well, no, but it doesn't matter.
like people ran around like with their shoes off and
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, it was a crazy church.
Did you do the snake holding?
We didn't hold snakes. No,
Okay.
come on, dude. No. No.
There's a church that does that.
We didn't do that.
Okay.
No. I had a very. I'm not gonna go there, but no, we didn't hold snakes. So, but yeah, no, yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So no, do they really talk a lot about heaven in your church or preach on it?
No, we
often?
were very much like Left Behind stuff. So like,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
so it wasn't. We were gonna go up to heaven, like
Yeah.
you know, streets of gold and mansions, and let's go. You know, get
Yeah,
out of this.
I think
hell.
that's the most I've ever heard of it too. Like it's never been dwelled on. Like it's like, oh, this is heaven.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just that's why I said it's not a topic that's talked about.
No, it's very much an escape hatch mentality,
Mm-hmm.
and so again, which is fine, except that then.
Leads to misconceptions.
Well, and then you want to get out of here, and you can't wait to get out of here. And if my goal is to get out of here, then I'm gonna do all I can to get out of here. You know what I mean? And like I have work here to do.
I hear. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Like it's that I don't know. Is calling a retirement a good idea? Is that
No,
bad?
it's a terrible
Is that bad?
idea.
Why? Well, no. No, like you're right. You're right.
That's,
no,
that's
you're
terrible.
absolutely
like,
right.
Like
Yes.
I was like, so I've been working all day,
Yep.
and like it's my last hour. I can't wait to go home. That last hour of work. I mean, I know the church pays me, but that last hour of work, I ain't here. Like I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
No.
ready to go. And that's like that's
I think
garbage.
that's-
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's trash. And like so like I have work to do. We have work to do, and that's what frustrates me about some of our older generation, and not so much here at this church. Now I really think that we're starting to see this church become more intergenerational, which has always been my heart. But like there was a point where like the older folks would hit a certain age and then, okay, I'm done serving, I'm done, I've done my time, I'm out. Like, what are you talking about? You've done your time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think Paul would have said he's done his time? Like, what? What are you talking about? Like, this time with the time we have here is so short. And this Sunday we're going to talk about that a lot as we finish up Revelation. Like, let's go. We you know,
We have stuff to do. No,
and I want to be up to the very last minute.
yeah, no.
Let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe because I'm a little younger and I don't know, and the energy drink's hitting now, but like, I don't know. I don't have that mentality of like, I want to get out of here and let's go. You know what I mean? There's too much to do here now.
Well,
And again, I see myself partnering with him in that restoration process. So to clock out and to run off and to like, I don't know. I just think that's
No, I
selfish,
understand what you're saying.
and it's,
I think
it's wrong.
I think there's two sides here. Because
not two sides.
No,
That's
no,
wrong.
no. Listen, just listen.
No.
There are people who are so attached to being here,
Yeah, boy, and that's tough. That's
and
tough.
that's a hard one, right?
That's
and-
sinful. That's sinful.
Yeah, and then you have those that are like, oh, I already know where I'm going.
You can't serve
right?
two masters.
Right. And then there's those people who are like, I'm good. Like, I don't need to do anymore because I've already gotten where I got to go.
Yeah, but then you're serving two masters. You're
I
serving
know.
yourself.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But those are the two extreme ends of the situation
Right.
that you're dealing with, right?
And unfortunately, I think that there are people who feel like they're believers on both of those ends.
There
And
are.
I would question. I would say that those are the letters to the churches that he is writing to those churches, and he's writing to those people in those letters. And he would say, "Yeah, watch yourself.
No, I agree.
Like
yeah.
you think you're good,
yeah,
but you're not."
yeah.
And I know we want to get into lose your salvation and all that. I might have all that
No.
conversation. But I would also say you're known by your works, and you're known by what you do. And are you ready? You know.
Yeah, I think the hardest one is the people who love it here so much.
Yeah.
But I think that part of the misconception of heaven is it feeds into that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think? You got an idea?
Yeah, no, I think that's really, really, it makes perfect sense of the two spectrums. And I think what you're saying too, Steve, a little bit is like, I think in our mission and in what we do, oftentimes we think like, what you're saying made me think of this. Like previously we would go and act like we're bringing something that like to these people, right? We're going to seek them. We're going to save them, as though God is not already working in that restoration process now. So what you said there earlier about like you feel like you're partnering with him more and more, and like yeah, God is already working through that restoration process, and like where can we join in? It just changes the whole perspective. Just how this whole conversation changes our perspective of heaven and what we're supposed to do with our time here. Like God is the what's the Greek word? The kinos.
Kinos.
Yeah. He's dwelling like. He's moving, like, where is he moving? Let's join with him, not being so, like, prideful that we have something to offer that, like, that God isn't already doing,
Right.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. So,
All right. So what'd you leave out?
yeah, I don't know, a lot. We don't have to go through a lot of it, but some of it, though. So just to kind of go through, I don't know where you want to start. Well, let's just kind of walk through it here real quick. Revelation 21:3, we'll start. And it says, I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God." And I just thought that whole promise of that we see throughout the Bible of God he will be our God, and we will be his people, that we see throughout the Old Testament and then even throughout the New Testament. And that we're there but not yet type mentality. And then that made me think of Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which is, we talk a lot about the love chapter and everything, but he talks about here where he says in verse 12, "For we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even if I have been fully known." And that idea of that we are, I wrote a couple notes here, that already not yet fashion, that already not yet, you know what I mean? That in this idea of we're there but not yet. Mm-hmm. And then in that chapter, what I love that he lists faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. Mm-hmm. And I've always wondered, like, why that? Why does love remain? Why is love the one thing that remains? Why does faith and hope eventually fade away?
Do you have an answer? Because I have a thought.
Give me a thought.
Okay. So my thought is that when that time comes, right, you don't need faith anymore, right? Because faith is the unseen, is the unseen, right? And then hope, what are you hoping for? You already got it, right?
Yeah.
Like the thing is there. And so what's the last thing that's left?
That's it.
That's all is love, right? And that's all that's always been about, right? Like that's the one thing I've learned as I've gotten older and studied more. It's all about love, and that's the hardest thing to see, is that people just don't understand that.
Yeah, I think that's what's beautiful. That's what I agree. Yeah, that in the end, you won't need faith, you won't need hope. That love will be what's left, right? And I think that just was kind of a neat little connection. And so that didn't make the sermon because I don't know.
Sorry if I stole your thunder.
No, that's we have a quiet conversation. Yeah. So the next little thing was the list of 21:8. But as for the cowardly, the cowardly, the faithless, the detestable, the murderers, the sexual immoral, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars, their portion will be in the lake that burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death. Which that gives us, hit the mic. That gives us 8, right? And we talked about that last week a little bit. Why? What does 8 stand for?
I forgot.
A new creation, right?
New creation.
Yeah, because 7 plus 8. Yes. 7 plus 1 is 8. Yep.
Yeah, new creation, right? Johannine, right? And why? Because Jesus moved us from day 7 to day 1. Day 1, and I thought that was kind of cool. That was just a nerdy little thing.
No, that's
people disagree, but that's okay. They're wrong. Okay. Now next one. New Jerusalem, 21:9.
9. Yep.
Then came out of the 7 angels who had 7 bowls full of the 7 last plagues, and spoke to me, saying, "Come, I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb." And he carried me away in the Spirit to a great high mountain, and showed me the holy city Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, Okay, so are we talking about a city, or are we talking about a bride or a city? Is it people or a place?
I'm going to go with place. You want to take a guess?
I'll go with city just to be different from you.
No, I said the same thing.
Oh wait, what did you say?
I said place.
Oh, I'll
Yeah.
say people then
You're
to
gonna
be
say
different
people?
from you.
Okay, that's fine. Tell us who's wrong.
It's people, yeah. Yeah, I would say it's people, yeah. Yeah, the Jerusalem stands for something bigger than a plot of land. Jerusalem stands for a relationship that was destroyed in the garden. And, I think we need to worship a plot of land, or we need to protect a plot of land that's missing this whole point of Revelation 21. Jerusalem is bigger than the land. Jerusalem is a people that has been set aside. Every time the holy city is used, it's pointing to a people. Every time a great city is used, it's pointing to a people. Every time Babylon is used, it's pointing to a people. Every time New Jerusalem is used, it's pointing to a people. And the reason they say that is because Babylon, every time the word Babylon was used, Babylon didn't even exist as an empire anymore. And the place that it stood for is always something bigger. Same thing with New Jerusalem. It stands for something bigger. And so to reduce it to a plot of land is to miss the point. And so what is he wanting to restore, a location or a relationship? And that Jesus didn't die for geography. I think that's kind of
Oh,
important.
yeah. I understand. Yeah, I get that.
And so if we think of it as a people, we're going to kind of read through this a little bit, and I think it kind of it reads a little bit differently, and maybe I'll convince you.
Okay, no, that's fine, because I wanted to ask, because as you read through the following verses, like, I want to understand that a little bit better.
Okay. So having the glory of God in radiance like most rare jewel, like a jasper, clear as crystal. So where did we hear that before? Clear as crystal. Clear as crystal. We've seen jasper in chapter 4 describing, if you go back, it describes a throne.
Yep.
So these people look a lot like him. Verse 12, having the glory of, okay, verse 12, it had a great high wall with 12 gates. At the 12 gates, 12 angels. On the gates, names of the 12 tribes of the sons of Israel were inscribed. Again, 12, we weigh our numbers, right? We don't count them. So security, completion. Jesus didn't choose 12 by accident. We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I love that. That was a fun one.
Yeah, so now we're going to go in here. He lists all this. Then verse 15. And the one who spoke with me had a measuring rod of gold to measure the city and its gates and walls. The city lies foursquare, its length the same as its width. And you measure the city with this rod. He lists all this measurements here. And we've measured before. The people on earth, people of God on earth were measured in chapter 11, and now the people of God in heaven were measured. Both of them are describing structures, but they're really not really describing structures. And what do measuring indicate? I don't think we've talked about this before. When we measure something, we talk about ownership, protection, intimacy, sovereignty, authority. And again, this structure here, it describes the Holy of Holies that was in the temple. So he just described the people the way the Holy of Holies would have been described as a perfect cube, right? Which is kind of neat. Now, he lists all these stones. He goes on and on. I'm not going to read all this because
That's a lot, yeah.
it's a lot, but go read it on your own. And what is he describing? He's describing the existence of something that is simply beyond what words can contain. And this author here wrote, the people of God made new. And how do you describe this? And just words that are just beyond what you can describe. And so I think that was just something that kind of stood out to me.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I came down with. Disagree? Agree?
I don't know. Like, I like the interpretation of it. I don't know. Sometimes I think there are things in Revelation that can be interpreted actually and metaphorically, right? So I totally think that, yeah, this can definitely be, because I like the idea of your 12, the idea of your, because there's even 12 stones, right, in that verse 20. I don't know. Maybe it's just a hard idea that I still think that there's going to be he didn't die for land, but there's a place that he'll rule from, and there's a new earth, right? So I don't know, the Capitol building of New Earth, I guess.
What?
I don't know.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, because I think New Earth will be physical.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, and so I think
He's everywhere.
I think there's a physical place. Oh, I think Christ still has a physical body, though.
Well, yeah, but I don't. Oh,
You,
okay.
you see where I'm going?
Where do you
with
see that at?
That he has a physical body.
No, I mean saying, where do you see that? Where do you see the Capitol building?
No,
in here?
that's the way I think of it. I'm not saying that's what I'm reading. No. I don't know how to describe it. Like a capital city, almost. Like,
Did you see that where?
well,
The
okay.
Yellow Brick Road?
Yeah, no. Well, I do with the walls and the gates and all that kind of stuff. Like, I know that we can use it as a metaphysical or as a metaphorical description,
Yeah.
right? I totally don't deny that that's the case. I
What do
don't.
walls represent? Security.
Mhm.
Right. And we need security.
And we don't
from
need,
what?
we don't need security
Right.
there. So I get that.
Right.
And the gates, we don't need that either.
Right.
I think it's just an old idea that's stuck
Yeah,
in my head.
no, but then again, those numbers are 12,000 and all that.
Yeah.
12,000 times 10 times. That's all
It's-
completion.
It's
that's
probably just
everything.
it's an old idea that's stuck in my head.
Yeah, get it out.
I know.
Or keep it
But
in there. I don't care. Maybe you're right.
I like seeing. I like the idea that there's a place that you can go and it's like,
Everybody knows your
yeah,
name.
everybody knows your name.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
In all honesty, like that. I spent some time in Uganda on a mission trip and met some
Here we
really
go.
cool people.
Really? You don't say.
Yeah, and
Spend time with Chris for 2 minutes and he'll tell you about Uganda.
it's the first time I've ever mentioned it. But one of the things that we said to the people always would say is like, if we don't see you again here, then we'll see you someplace. We'll see you in heaven.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
But the idea that you'll see people that you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
No,
what
I'm
does that
not
have to do with
denying
the
that.
what does that have to do with
I
the
don't know.
Capitol
I
building?
don't know. There has to be a place. Like
I don't
But
know.
it's
I feel
everywhere
like,
though.
Yeah, I feel like that's our human.
it is.
I
It
mean,
probably is. Oh, 100%. Like I can't picture it. You know what I mean? Like I know it's going to be real. I know it's going to be New Earth.
Yeah.
Right. But to picture how it's going to function, like how can it be Earth and how can I be here in New Lenox, Illinois, and be seeing somebody in Uganda? You know what I mean? Like I can't wrap my mind around that.
That's fair. Yeah, I feel like
So I
a
had
lot
to
of
make
times-
that up. You know?
Yeah, a lot of times, like I think we compare what we see in the earth, and we're broken, and we have governments, and we have those capital
Yes.
buildings. But like, I guess I don't see the way Jesus describes the kingdom of God in the Gospels. I don't necessarily see, that same structure in place in heaven.
Oh no,
and
I
in
don't,
the new
I don't
earth.
think there's a Capitol building was a bad idea.
Okay, okay.
Like a central hub of the world.
Commerce.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever it's going to look
Central
like.
hub
I don't
of
know.
commerce.
He said commerce. I was like, we was going with it.
No, okay, a central hub. Okay,
Yeah. It's
Like
a
Disneyland?
physical place. Yeah, like Disneyland. Like everyone goes and be happy there. Like I
So
mean,
you just heard that heaven will be like Disneyland. There you
Never
go.
been to
Yeah.
Disneyland,
We just
so I
lost a
don't know.
lot of. Well, we lost our 2 viewers.
only one because I know the other one likes Disney.
All right, so my last thing that, is has to do with the people. Ba-rum, ba-boom, ba-boom. Verse 22. Chapter 22, verse 3. No longer will there be anything accursed, but the throne of God and of the Lamb will be in it, and his servants will worship him. Now, I don't know what your version. What does your version say? Will worship
There will
him?
be no longer any curse. The throne of God and the Lamb will be in the city, and his slaves will serve him.
Will serve him. Yeah, serve him's a better word because the word there is laturo, which is a word of worship, but also is a word of like priestly service.
Yeah,
Which is cool because if you read on, it says they will see his face and his name will be on their foreheads.
Yep, have that.
Which is a connection again to the idea of like we'll be
The mark and
we'll
the
be
seal.
kingdoms
yeah.
and a priest. Like we'll
Yeah.
be serving him as priests. And so I thought that was kind of a neat little tie-in. And then I wanted to stop there because the rest of it is what this week we're going to kind of mess around a little bit with. Hopefully.
I love that a lot, like the kingdom of priests, because I mean, I know Chuck, the ministry of all believers. If we're talking about,
talk about that.
yeah, well, Paul's writings, he there's the priests are a special group of people, and not everyone could do the
Yeah.
service for God. And what Paul writes in the New Testament is about how it's the priesthood of all believers, the ministry of all believers. So if you're a follower of Christ, you are called into this priesthood. It's no longer a division, I guess, between the two. So when we're talking about your kingdom come here on earth as it is in heaven, we see in Paul's writings that he's setting us up for that with
Let's go.
the priesthood of all believers.
Well, I mean, in Hebrews, like where the argument is the priesthood's been destroyed, essentially.
Mhm.
Like, right, that idea that it doesn't exist. So don't worry about it anymore. You know, you're able to. You are the one now
Yeah.
to do that. But yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I finished up with, and then that's all I got.
Well, obviously, and just looking from our conversation, this is not an easy topic. This is a hard one.
What is?
I think that the idea of heaven.
I don't think so.
Oh, I do.
Oh.
Well, I just think it's hard because I think like you put it, is we have these ideas of what we've seen. Just like Paul, right? Just like when John writes this, right? He's trying to describe things in the way things have been seen and things that are known, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think for a lot of us that when we think of heaven, it falls into that. Like
Yeah,
we try to put it in terms that we know because we don't know any other way of doing it. And so that's where it kind of gets muddied and gets hard to, and like you said, like, well, what I think and what you think and what you think, that's just kind of the way it is.
Mm.
And I think it's hard because we don't talk about it a lot too. I
Yeah.
think if we talked about it more and brought it out and not just thought about it as this future place that, you know, if you're a Christian, you get to go to.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I think so.
It would help out a lot.
I think so.
But looking forward to it.
Looking forward to
guys
what?
aren't?
Talking about it more?
No, I'm looking forward to heaven.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay, I'm like,
yeah.
wow, that was dead air. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm talking about it. Yeah.
If Chris is going to be there.
Yeah. You and your capital city. So
That's right. Do we get our own capital city when we go? I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, that was another thing.
Oh, yeah.
We
what
got want
you
to go
got?
there about
Huh?
the dwelling. So I almost.
Yeah. Do that because I like this. Go. So what do you got to say?
About the dwelling place.
Yeah, I want to know about it. Yeah.
That's in John.
Yeah. If it weren't
14?
true, if it weren't true, I wouldn't tell you, right?
Yeah, I'm going to prepare a place for you. Right?
Mhm.
You want to look it up or don't you
you
remember?
want me to
I
find
just
the verse?
just tell you it.
Just no. Go. Tell
John
me.
14:34.
John 14:34.
I'm
See if he's
making
right.
that up.
No, we're gonna find out.
Find out. It's not even 34. It's 14:17.
There are 67. No, there are 31 verses, so it's definitely not 34.
No, 17. Go ahead.
Oh, we got. Where's it? Oh, nope, that's not
Okay.
it.
How close am I? 18. Oh, come on. This is really terrible radio.
This is horrible. It's funny for me, but
Yeah.
it's not. No,
Probably I'm 14. I'm messing up.
I don't think you're right. I think
Yeah.
it's somewhere different.
17. I'm
Jesus prays for himself.
no.
Which
I thought it was John 14.
It was not John 14.
Yeah.
Oh.
14, if I go and prepare a
Yeah.
place where I'll come back.
Yeah,
Where's that at?
it is John 14.
14:3.
14:3.
Oh, okay. I was like halfway
yeah, I
down the
put
page.
two-
Sorry.
Jesus comforts his disciples.
Yeah, he comforts his disciple.
Okay.
And then Thomas says, I don't know where I'm going. He said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by me. But before then, he goes, if it were not so, I would tell you,
I would not have told you I'm
right,
going away.
I'm
Yeah.
going, and where did he say? I'm going to prepare a place for you.
If I go away and prepare a place for you, I will come back and
Mhm.
receive you to myself, so that
Right.
where I am, you may be also.
Before, though, he says, I'm going to prepare a place. What does your version say, though?
To prepare a place for you.
Just a place.
That's all it says. Yeah.
Right. Some of the versions say a dwelling place.
Okay.
But that word, I don't know if you have
I can
logos
pull
or
up-
something.
I can pull up,
but it's the word is moni. I can't pronounce it. And so it's not like a like I go there and live forever. It's a temporary housing place, like a temporary lodging is kind of the best way to describe it. And so he's saying like I'm gonna go here for a minute. We're gonna hang out for a bit and then come back. And so that kind of goes into our conversation where we talked about what does heaven look like right now versus what will heaven look like eventually. And that's kind of a fun little
What's the word that we're looking
Monet?
at? Place? No, a place or prepare.
no place, like a dwelling place.
I have topos.
Oh, you're looking at the wrong word. So
I'm in verse 17. Is that okay?
yeah, I don't know. You're looking at the wrong word.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to prepare a place for a dwelling place or whatever. Anyways, don't step on my flow here,
I'm
man.
not. You asked me to look it up.
Oh Lord.
What do you got?
I got Topos too.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going
that's
to say
what
anything. I was going to let him have his moment.
Oh gosh, you guys are killing me here. Let me get my stuff out here. I'm just gonna smack you guys. in
This
the
is
head.
really bad radio at this point.
Very terrible.
Gosh,
It's a masculine noun.
darn it.
It's apparently a primary word,
Oh lordy, lordy, lordy. Help
and I'm using King James for mine. I don't.
I have ESV.
Okay, so it's still topos in both.
Well, the guy's talk while I'm doing it.
So
I
mine
made a
says it's a place, any portion or space marked off as if it were from a surrounding space, an inhabited
Rooms,
place.
many rooms. Sorry.
Oh.
Look at the word rooms.
There it is. There it
Oh,
is.
that's a different verse.
In my
though.
Father's house are many rooms.
What is
14:1. Let not your
Yeah.
hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believes also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms.
Yeah, there it is.
In my house are many
that? Oh,
rooms.
I have dwelling places in mine.
Right.
Okay.
Dwelling- that's what I said. Well, you guys are. Did I not say dwelling place?
But you were in the wrong verse.
Well, one
You're
verse
like, what's this
earlier.
one say? Like,
like I was saying, you guys are calling to question my vocabulary. What did I say? Like I said,
say it again. What's the word?
Monet. I'll
Ooh,
pronounce
that's
it.
wow.
Monet. That's how you say it.
That was really loud.
I know that was really. I didn't know it was coming through that phone. Monet.
I have Monet also. Yes.
I just blew out some people's speakers.
Well, my ears. I already have tinnitus.
And that's why I don't wear headphones.
I feel bad for the people listening.
a staying, abiding, dwelling abode
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make one's abode.
It's temporary though. It's a
Yeah.
temporary abode, so it's not like a permanent housing. And that's
No,
the idea
it's
is
a
that
staying, yeah.
he's going there, and that's where he talks about like we think of that as like, hey, I'm gonna go. What when we've read that verse before? Okay, no, you grew up in a church.
Yep.
And what does that say? I'm going to go to heaven and build you a mansion. Let's
Yep,
go.
that's-
Yeehaw.
that's exactly
Not
it.
at all. That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. No.
on.
It's not what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but we've taken that, we've made it to be this whole thing. That's not a whole thing.
No, you're 100% on that.
I know that. And so when we talk about heaven coming down, right, Jerusalem coming down, not going up
So,
again.
so this is where, like, in modern, like, you're right. In the past, that's how I would have read this. But this is where I would say that intermediate heaven.
Mhm. Yeah, this is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
This is that
Yeah,
holding
this is
place
before the creation
where
of
we're
the new
resting
earth.
in
Yeah.
Christ, whatever that looks like. Again, they were fine with. Okay, we're hanging out with him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What that looks like? Who knows?
Temporary
I don't know.
living. Yep.
Hanging out.
I don't care.
And again, we're hanging out. So, and like, again, there's a Catholic term for this, purgatory, which is again, I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
It's different. I know it's
right.
different, but they have
It's
something.
it's an idea.
But
yes.
they've got something there that we don't, where there's this temporary holding place,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so again, we're not going to jump all the way over there because there's some,
There's issues with that.
but they
one.
have some words for that, the language for that we don't.
That
so
we
just
don't.
go the other way. We're like,
Right.
hey, you go to heaven, you go up somewhere. We don't know where. You just go
Well,
up.
it's almost like Antichrist, right? Like we use it in the proper noun way, and it's
Speaking of
actually-
Antichrist, we got a couple of them debating tonight.
I thought you said we weren't making this political. Actually, I had two final questions. If anyone actually made it through to hear that part about the dwelling, like, thank you for listening.
Monet.
You actually deserve to go to heaven for that. And and we didn't talk about what you were drinking tonight. So Tiffany gave you a healthy drink instead of a caffeinated energy drink.
That's still an energy.
Did
drink.
you like it?
It's all right.
Okay. Not as good as your Slimer one.
It's fine.
Okay.
Bubbler.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to question, like, are you turning into a 1949 prospector? Because, like, this is twice now in the last week that you've used "yeehaw" as a,
Devin, really?
yeah. You did it when you were preaching, and then you just did it now. So
Oh, when I sing that old song, I
Yeah.
didn't know how to sing "How Sweet By and By" goes. I was trying to sing that.
you should have Daniel help you.
How's that go? In the sweet
doesn't remember.
by and by, not like that.
That sounds like a
sounds
Beatles
right.
song, actually.
Yeah.
I know.
That's what
so-
came to my mind.
It's like
when
Yellow Yellow Submarine. It sounds
I know.
like.
I know. So that's why. And originally, when I wrote it, I had it go at the end, and then I was gonna sing the first one, but I couldn't sing the second, so I just said it, and then I sang the second one.
That's so smart, and that's
That's professional.
Trick of the trade. Trick of the
that you
trade.
don't get on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You don't know that was inside.
Not for Sunday mornings.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
And actually, what I wanted to do, people don't know this. I visited my grandmother on Friday, and not, just because I wanted to visit her, but I was going to record her singing that song, "I'll Fly Away,"
okay.
and then we were gonna sing together on Sunday morning, like with the recording and me.
That'd been sweet.
But I couldn't. It felt like I was. If I recorded it, it felt like I was being. What's that word where you use somebody? Exploitive.
Exploitive. Yes.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do that, so I
that's fair.
couldn't do it. So I couldn't, but I wanted to.
I mean, I remember growing up and singing that song in church and having the two parts to it.
Yeah, in the morning.
In the morning. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
That was always fun. So
But I did get to sing again. I'm becoming a singer.
you are. So
Great.
we're gonna be swapping you and Daniel out for
I'm
each
not-
other. No one will know the difference.
Oh, don't know.
Most people don't. Most people
Don't know. Don't know. Once I start trying to really sing. So, ugh.
All right. Well, we have one more week.
Thank God. Woohoo!
It's
Hallelujah.
been fun.
It's been something.
I know. It's
been a lot.
It's been
of fun.
a lot for you.
It's been a lot of fun.
Like, in all honesty, Steve sets up, like, we set up our station every week. Steve does, and so he moves his desk out of his office and everything, and so it's a lot of work for him. And so if you see him, say thanks, because it's good.
It's
good
been
that
a
he
lot of
does
fun.
it.
It's been a lot of fun. We've had a good time. It's
Yep.
been good responses, and I think we're over 300 downloads now. So
I'm happy with that.
yeah, me too. So
Oh.
been a lot of fun.
All right, one more sermon, one more podcast right
Yep,
now.
This week we're going to close it up, and we're going to talk about one word, Maranatha, Maranatha, and how this book finishes. And
Not Monet.
Not Monet.
Okay.
Then it should be a good closing. And we're going to have some fun worshiping this week. Daniel has a blast, I think. I hope I'm not surprising or overstepping.
Hopefully I don't disappoint.
No, he won't. It's awesome.
Oh, I didn't know. Like, I didn't get the memo on this one.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. There's some
Okay.
cool stuff happening.
Is there?
Honestly,
I
it's really,
believe you.
it's going to be really neat. Really
Actually, there's been some really good songs that we've done.
Oh, I know.
through this.
I know.
I really like that Echo one that we did.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a good
That was a fun one.
Nice. Yeah. It's again it's in again this week. So
Good.
Echo,
Awesome.
echo.
Yeah, it was fun. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we will see you again next week for the
Love
final
you
one.
guys.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.